forward. So now we're at the point where we will have our keynote speaker. So first, we're going to read together, or I'm going to read, I guess, right? So Coach Peyton Boldin. So Peyton is native to Athens, Alabama. He graduated from West Limestone High School in 2015 and went on to pursue his general studies from Calhoun Community College. Upon receiving his associate's degree, he transferred to Athens State University, where he would graduate in the spring of 2020 with a bachelor's in secondary education with a minor in social science. He has worked at East Limestone High School for the past 5 years as a 7th grade social studies teacher. He is also a varsity football assistant coach and the head junior varsity baseball coach. He has also been the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA campus coach for the last 3 years. Last school year, Peyton was named Teacher of the Year for East Limestone. Congratulations. This year, he serves on the Limestone County Advisory Council and the leadership team at East Limestone. Peyton is married to Holly Bolden, who's also here with us, who is also a graduate of West Limestone. She is a teacher at Blue Springs Elementary. They have 2 cats, Kylo and Pepper, and are expecting their first child, Brooks, in late March. So again, congratulations. They attend Crossroads Church in Tanner, Alabama, where both serve on the praise and worship team. In their spare time, they love to go to the gym, watch football games down at Auburn, go camping, and travel. All right, so with that said, let's welcome our keynote speaker, Coach Bolden.
Thank you, sir. Give me just a minute. All right, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. I am a little nervous. This is kind of my first time doing something outside of the classroom in terms of speaking. Normally, I speak to 7th graders all day and have to get on to them for getting loud or doing something crazy or hitting one of their friends or something. So that was kind of today. But I'm grateful and blessed. Thank you, Dr. Ragus, for allowing me to speak, giving me the opportunity. I worked with his wife at East Limestone High School, and she was the one that actually reached out to me, and then he got in touch with me, and I was honored to be able to do this. And so tonight, I first want to celebrate y'all and congratulate you on this achievement. Anytime you get recognized for something in life, whether you think it's big or small, you need to embrace that and soak that in. Whether you think it's a little victory or it's a big for you, okay? Enjoy this, all right? So I want to say congratulations to you because I was talking with Dr. Ragus about the requirements that you had to go through to get this point. So give yourself a pat on the back and you round of applause. Yes, please. Yes. Like, congratulate yourself. Yes. So when he reached out to me about the topic and stuff with leadership, this is right up my alley. I have to be honest with you, the last few months, this is something that's been kind of heavy on me, like something I wanted to embrace more of. I am a teacher at East Limestone. I've been there 5 years. I coach football. I'm a wide receiver coach. And then I'm the head junior varsity baseball coach. And so I'm constantly I'm in a lot of leadership roles where I'm having to mentor and bring along kids. And I tell you what, they do a good job of pushing your boundaries and pushing you and growing you as a leader. And so really the first thing I wanted to think about was, what does leadership look like? What does good leadership look like? I'm going to be real with you tonight. I don't know everything. I don't. I'm 29 years old. As I said, I'm expecting my first kid in March. And so I'm fixing to have to grow a lot. And I've grown a lot these last few years. And so what I know comes from being a teacher, coach, and FCA leader. I've been around a lot of leadership. I'll be honest, I've went through, what is it now, 3 or 4 principals since I've been at East Limestone. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying from the sense of they've gone on to take other jobs and other positions and roles. And so I've dealt with and been around a lot of leaders, and I've learned good things and I've learned bad things. And that's okay. I think that's some of the things that I've learned is you learn a lot from even bad leaders that maybe don't do things the way you think they should. It teaches you maybe some things that you don't do down the road or things that you maybe could do better. And that I don't mean that in any ill intent at all. And I've been around a lot of good leaders, especially from the football perspective. And so here's what I found out. What makes a good leader? To me, you got to be passionate and you got to be confident in what you do. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you I struggle with confidence. I'm the first one that struggles with confidence. But I am passionate about teaching. I've become more passionate about coaching. It's a grind teaching and coaching, because it's a lot of hours. But I know that there's a bigger reward, not for me, but growing and molding young men, especially because again, football and baseball, I'm around young men all day, and the things that I say, whether I see it then or not, it carries weight. So one of the things you got to be passionate about with leadership is to be passionate and then be confident in what you do. All right, there's gonna be times you're gonna question things, but I think confidence is key. That comes with just time and growing in all areas. And so love what you do and believe in it. Love what you do. Effective communication. I think that is one of the biggest things I've seen being a football coach and a teacher is effective communication with my kids. Whether when they come in the door that day, they know what's going on. They know that, hey, this is what Coach Bolden expects, or my players, they know what the expectation is. I think that's something that's so important. If you're in a leadership role or you want to be in a leadership role, it's effective communication. It's knowing how to talk to people. Because just yelling at people, it's not always going to be best received, right? So effective communication is big for me. I would say that being humble. I feel like that's one of the traits that I not bringing on myself at any means, but I feel like I can be a pretty humble person where I'm willing to admit when I fail. You have to be willing to admit when you're wrong. As a leader, sometimes that's hard to do. I do it daily with my kids in the classroom. There's times where I forget to do something. Like, that's on me, guys. That's not on you. That's on me. And so humble yourself and be willing to admit, hey, I made a mistake. I own it. I'm human. Let's keep rolling on along. And I think people respect you more for that. So definitely being humble. Empathetic is truly caring about individuals and knowing how to talk to people. I kind of already talked about that, but just caring about people. Like in the school system, for me, I deal with kids every day that deal with all kinds of, comes from different backgrounds and different home lives and situations, and I gotta know how to talk to them. And so as a leader, I think it's knowing how to talk to people, and caring for them, and not always, do this, do that, but hey, just sit down and have a conversation, learning about them. And that's really big in football, especially with young men. That's something I've grown to try to do a better job of, is really embracing that role of communicating with my guys regularly. I have a group chat with my guys that I spend a lot of time with, just trying to check in on them. Even though football season's over for us, I'm still going to check in with those guys and make sure they're good. And if they need anything, they know that I care about them. That's one of the big things for me that I've definitely tried to come a long ways with, is just growing and being there for those kids. And people in general. And then I would say, for a leader, I would say it's willing to embrace challenges and change, and then pulling people along with you, growing and molding young leaders. That's something that I especially in FCA, I'm passionate about that. I've seen some young men and women that would not speak at our campus huddles, that last year at our campus huddles, if you know what FCA is, we had nothing but young students speak at those campus huddles. I didn't have to bring in an outside speaker one time. It was all of them. And there was like a confidence there. And that's not on me. I'm just saying, I think when you are confident and you bring people along with you, that confidence, it will basically jump off onto them, and they will become confident, and they'll get a bonus to, hey, maybe I want to embrace this role and be a leader myself. So let me move on to the other part of this. Dr. Ragus talked about, wanted me to touch on, was team chemistry. Team chemistry is big, especially in sports. I'll say one of the first things is, in having a positive culture and team chemistry with the leader, is that there is a shared goal or vision, and everybody knows what it is. Everybody's on the same page. I truly believe that if everybody knows what's going on and what's expected, then everybody can move towards the same goal. I've been a part of teams before where I'm not real sure what I was doing, what the goal was, what the end goal was, or what we were doing that day. And that's gonna be frustrating. And so, as a leader in creating a positive culture, I think everybody's got to have a same shared vision in what they do. Relationships, I've already touched on this, but relationships, I would even put that probably number one. Relationships are key. For me in the position that I'm in, and maybe you're in one day in business already or in your job, relationships go a long ways. Building trust, confidence, loving on one another, in a sense of being there for one another. If somebody's struggling with something, building those relationships, talking to them, that way that everybody feels like, hey, I'm a part of this. They truly care about me, and that starts with the leader. The next one I have is a big one that I preached in my classroom today was respect. I had to have a little meeting with one of my last classes of the day about respect because seventh graders struggle with how to talk to each other and respect one another. And so today I had to talk to them about respect. To me, respect's one of the biggest things that we can have in leadership roles and in a classroom, on the ball field, or in a business, is respect amongst each other. Okay, I think respect goes a long way. Treating people, their ideas, and their property with consideration and dignity is a big thing. And so respect for me is huge in building a positive culture and that team chemistry. Integrity. I've been raised my whole life on the principle of integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's watching. And I try to instill that in my classroom. I really try to instill in my kids that maybe they don't know what integrity is. I tell them that the first day, and I try to really come back to that and preach that, hey, when we're in this classroom, that's integrity. Let's do the right thing. Even if I'm not looking, if I'm having to take a phone call or something, let's do the right thing. Do the right thing when nobody's watching. Little things matter, and I truly believe that. Next one is discipline and being intentional, and that's top down, taking pride in what you do. For me, the last few months, I know Dr. Reagan's put this I put this in here. That for me, the last few months, this last year, I've been hitting the gym really hard. Me and my wife have both I've fallen in love with the gym. I'll be honest with you, as a coach, there were times that I just was lazy and I didn't want to go to the gym. And this last year, I have gotten on a health kick and I have started going to the gym, and I disciplined myself to that if I'm going to teach kids, if I'm going to want them to be in the gym and want them doing things, I ought to be in there too. And so discipline to me and being intentional about what I do needs to rub off, and I need to make sure I show that and exemplify that as a leader, and I build that into my culture, into my business, my team, that they know that I'm disciplined and I expect that from them. And that's not a bad thing. Discipline is tough, and I think it takes time, and it's a grind every day. But being intentional, little things matter. That's one of the things that I've learned from our head baseball coach at East, is being intentional. Little things matter. And if you do the little things right, it'll pay off in the long run. And then got a couple more, and I'm done. Consistency builds trust. It reduces confusion and increases accountability. Being consistent in what you do. I'll say for me, being in a routine really helps. And I think in your job, whatever you do, if you're consistent and everybody knows what the expectation is, that shared vision, if you're consistent, consistency is a big thing in growing a team, growing a culture that's positive, that, hey, we know what the expectation is, and the boss is consistent with that, the leader's consistent with that, whoever it is. Consistency is one of those things that I think it matters. My kids are especially accustomed to routines and having consistency in the classroom. And then my last one here is recognition and encouragement, being team-oriented. One of the things I'll leave you with here is, I told you at the beginning of this, I wanted to acknowledge y'all, and this is really just want to encourage you tonight. If you're in a leadership role or pursuing a leadership role, that you celebrate those achievements, celebrate other people's achievements, celebrate their accomplishments. Like that means so much to celebrate other people and what they do, whether you think it's small or it's big. For them, it may be huge. Okay, and so that tonight, I didn't have anything elaborate. This is maybe something you've heard before in terms of leadership and building team chemistry. This is something I deal with on a daily basis, and I have to push myself and check myself and make sure that I'm doing these things. because I want my kids to be the best students they can be, my players to be the best players they can be, and I want to instill these principles in them. And so tonight, I'm honored, I'm thankful to be able to speak to you. Hope you took something away from it. This is a great university that I graduated from in 2020. And so this is a huge accomplishment. I want to congratulate you one last time. And I thank Dr. Regis for allowing me to speak tonight. So at this time, thank you.